Good evening, everyone. I'm just checking my other streams. I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay. This is okay. Looks like everything is up. All right. Guess it's already started. All righty, guys. Good evening. Can you hear me? I apologize for the delay. This is my first time attempting to go live on multiple platforms. And I did test after test after test, and they all seem to work. But as soon as I do the actual live, I'm having technical difficulties. So it's a little bit disheartening, but I'm gonna keep having a stab at it. So if you guys could type in the chat if you can hear me and see me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yay! So it has been a long time since I've taught a class, and I know a lot of people who are going to come in have been following for a while, and I know there's going to be a lot of new people. So what I want to do first and foremost is, oh goodness, I'm just having all types of technical difficulties. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself, but give me just a moment. I just want to take a look at something really quickly. All righty. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. So I was supposed to be streaming on YouTube and Facebook as well as Zoom, but for whatever reason, my YouTube is not working. So it is what it is. But what I'll do is anybody who wanted to watch on YouTube, I can just put a replay on there for this, but I'm gonna have to check and see why that didn't happen. I tested it several times and I'm just like, but I'm no tech geek. So it is what it is. All right, so hi guys, my name is Tamika and I'm your online hair care teacher and personal hair coach. During my time as a hair salon owner and healthy hair care specialist, I helped many women reach their healthy hair goals. And a lot of women, they wanted to grow their hair from short to long. And that's what I did. And I did that for 15 years. And that was my passion. It was my love. And I just wanted to bring my passion and love to you guys in a format where everybody can come in and get a chance to get some of my knowledge. Because, you know, when I was in the salon, I could only service like one person at a time. So I was only able to apply the knowledge on that person. But now we have all this internet, we have Zoom, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, and I can take my knowledge and put it here for everybody. But what I wanted to start doing is doing more live stuff because it's more interactive, and that way I can kind of get to know you guys a little bit better instead of me just posting a video and then you guys ask me questions on the video and stuff. I wanted to kind of be a little bit more interactive, so I could, in addition to teaching you how to, you know, care for your hair properly, also just kind of motivate you and encourage you so you can be able to take this hair care knowledge I'm giving you and apply it and feel comfortable doing what you're doing. So you can be, you know, the person who takes care of your hair instead of you having to rely on other people. I know since COVID, a lot of people have started doing that anyway, but I know there's a lot of people out there who still also want to have, they have questions, they want more knowledge about hair care. So I'm going to be holding a class every single week. Now, there's going to be some weeks where I'm going to be off because like vacation and family stuff. But if you're on the email list, I'll definitely make sure that you know, have updates on the class times and when I'm not going to be having class cancellations and things like that. But I'll just keep you guys updated on that. And if you're not on the email list, I'll put a link. Let me see. Let me go ahead and put the link up where you can sign up to get on the email list to be notified of each and every class. And I'll be sending generally 2 links out a week. I mean, not 2 links out a week, 2 emails out a week, one to tell you about the class and one to remind you about the class. And that second one usually the first one usually come about a day before the class. And the second one usually about 30 minutes before the class. But I'm going to try my best to stay up on this and make sure we have a class on a different topic every week. And at the end of the class, we're going to be having a Q&A, which is going to be kind of fun. It's not going to be a long Q&A, but I'm going to give some people a chance to have the floor so they can ask their questions that they have about their hair care. Let's see. Okay, so today's class, the topic is, I'm going to teach you some reasons why your hair is not growing. So this will allow you to notice any habits that you have concerning your hair care, no matter how small, large, frequent, or infrequent they are, and, you know, things that prevent you from growing your hair to longer lengths. Because I know in this day and age, still to this day and age, even with the internet, even with, you know, all social media and stuff, there's still people out there who struggle with hair growth, don't believe that their hair can grow long. And so that's what I'm here for. I'm here to encourage you and tell you that, yes, unless you have some sort of medical condition or something like that, you by all means can have longer, stronger, healthier hair. It just takes a lot of work and patience. But I mean, anything that we want takes work and patience, right? So why not going ahead and, you know, put the effort into it? So, you know, okay. I talked about that. Okay, so first of all, I want to say the main reason why you don't see an increase in length is because of the damage and breakage that is happening to your hair. I know a lot of people, they actively try to grow their hair, but it seems like it might stay at the same length forever and ever and ever. And I can sit here and tell you that it's not necessarily because your hair's not growing, because your hair grows all the time. Your hair grows when you eat, your hair grows when you sleep, it grows in the summertime, it grows in the winter. But more than likely, it's a damage and breakage issue. But a lot of times you won't notice the damage and breakage, especially if you if your hair is shorter, it'll just kind of like stay at the same length. As your hair if your hair is a little bit longer, sometimes you can notice a little bit more, but when your hair is shorter, a lot of times you won't notice it. You're just like, well, my hair gets to shoulder length and it stops growing. No, your hair doesn't stop growing, because back in the day, when we used to get our hair relaxed on a regular basis, if your hair had stopped growing, you wouldn't need a relaxer touch up every 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, your hair is growing, no doubt, but I'm going to start getting you guys to reverse that thinking and start thinking about length retention, because that's what we want to focus on. We don't want to focus on growth, because our hair is always growing, always growing. We want to focus on length retention. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that term all the time, but length retention is just retaining whatever hair comes in, and mainly focusing on the oldest part of your hair, the length of it, the ends of it, because as your hair grows down, you get to the point where your hair gets older. Say, for instance, here, it might be a year, down here, it might be 2 years, and further on down to 3 and 4 years. And so the older your hair gets, the more likely that you're going to run into a little bit more breakage and things like that. So you got to make sure that you do things to keep the ends of your hair super, super, super healthy so they won't break. Okay, so the average amount of hair you grow, the average amount of inches your hair grows is 6 inches per year, and then that's a half an inch per month. Now, some people, they will get a little bit more. I've actually seen people who get 1 to 2 inches a month, which is crazy, but it happens. And then some people will get a little bit less, like a 1/4 of an inch. It has nothing to do with race. It has more to do with genetics. So if somebody in your family has fast growing hair, they then more than likely pass it down to you. If somebody has slow growing hair, they pass it down to you. And I know a lot of people say, well, Black hair doesn't grow as fast as white hair or Indian hair and things like that. No, because I have known people of other races who only got a 1/4 inch of hair a month. And I've known Black folks who've gotten 2 inches a month. So it's more about genetics. So I know a lot of you guys have probably seen people who, you're like, oh man, their hair grows so fast, and they just cut their hair off like yesterday, and 6 months later it's down to their butt. That's because of genetics. Their hair grows super, super, super fast, which is good. It can be a good thing, but it can be a bad thing too, because if you want to keep your hair short and it grows fast all the time, that means you have to get a haircut all the time. But it can be really good, because if you're trying to grow your hair long, then within a year or so, you might be down to waist length, I guess. Because I actually met somebody like that. He said in 18 months, his hair had grown from short to waist length, and his hair was gorgeous. So that was very interesting, because you don't run into people whose hair grows that fast very often, but there are people out there. And this guy, he was African American. Okay, so let's go on ahead and get into the reasons why your hair may not be growing. All right, I feel sorry for the YouTube folks, because I really wanted to have that live on there, but I'm going to try to get it up like tonight. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me leave them a message so they'll know. All right. Sorry, YouTube. All right. Okay, back to class. Where was I? All right, so reasons why your hair may not be growing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably know, a lot of the reasons why your hair is not growing. I'm pretty sure you guys can think of some reasons. Okay, so tonight I'm not going to give you like this full list of reasons why your hair is not growing. I'm going to give you a lot of reasons that may or may not be obvious to people, but I just want you to just take what I'm saying and then think, like, is this something I'm doing or something that's going on within my hair care regimen, and kind of just take a step back and look and see if this is something that you can stop doing, to kind of help get your hair healthy. I have several reasons here, but we'll do other classes, and so I'll tell you guys more reasons, and we'll get a little bit more deeper into hair care. But I want to start you off with this: reasons why your hair is not growing. Okay. So first and foremost, because your hair has a lack of moisture. Okay, moisture is my middle name. Whenever I teach classes, I always teach people about making sure your hair is moisturized. That is very, very, very important. So if your hair is dry all the time, then dry hair results in breakage. Dry hair equals breakage. If your hair is dry, it's just going to start breaking off. That's just how it is. And so your hair can be dry because of the result of not deep conditioning your hair. It can be a result of lack of moisturizing in between shampoos, and even touching your hair too much. A lot of people don't understand that. People who touch and pull the hair a lot, every time you touch and pull on your hair, like the moisture is absorbed out of it. And that's something that you have to really, really pay attention to too, because if your hair is highly moisturized in the morning, like if you keep touching that one side, by the end of the day, it's going to feel kind of dry and parched. So just be mindful, keep your hands out of your hair. I know one trick that I use, especially since I'm home a lot, is I'll put a scarf on my head so I won't touch my hair all day, or either I'll put it up like this so I won't touch my hair all day. So just keep that into consideration. Don't touch your hair as much. Make sure you're deep conditioning, because a lot of people, they want to skip that step. You cannot skip the deep conditioning step. It's very, very, very important, because when you deep condition, it locks the moisture into your strands. Okay. So another thing too is over processing. If you chemically relax your hair, or you chemically color your hair, or you do keratin treatments and you're doing it like too much, because you can do keratin treatments too much, because people, they always say, well, you can get it done every 6 weeks. I beg to differ on that, because they try to say that keratin is not a chemical, but it is, point blank, period. So if you're getting it done every 6 to 8 weeks, it's too much. Keratin treatment should only be done on an as-needed basis, maybe a couple of times a year, in my opinion. And also relaxers. If you are relaxing your hair every 6 to 8 weeks, that is too much. If you're overlapping your relaxers, or if you're relaxing your hair bone straight, that type of stuff can cause damage and breakage. So just be mindful of that. Okay, the ladies out there who are trying to cover their gray, or who want to go blonde, or who want to have that chocolate brown, they want to color their hair. If you guys are coloring your hair, color is a chemical. It can cause damage and breakage, especially if it's not taken care of properly. So just be mindful of that. Relaxers break down the hair. Color strips the hair from the inside out. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but if it's color that lifts you above the hair color that you are presently, if you have brown hair and you lift to blonde, literally the color and the developer is having to pull all the pigment out of your hair, which is stripping your hair of all the nutrients and proteins and everything to get it to that color. Now, you can still have healthy colored hair, but you have to make sure that the proper steps are taken to be able to make sure that it's that way, and make sure you go to a professional, especially if you're lifting your hair to a higher level. So just be mindful of that. So over processing, coloring your hair too often. I know a lot of people, they want to cover their gray. Oh, I'm 45 years old and my gray is coming in too soon. I want to cover it because it makes me look old. I beg to differ on that. Just make sure that you're not coloring too often. I know that a lot of times when you have dark color and you have gray coming in, it can look unsightly. But if you can just find ways to quite possibly, cover your new growth, the gray that's coming in without coloring your hair, that'll be more beneficial, instead of you trying to color it like every 4 to 6 weeks to cover the gray. And I just had a talk with my aunt about covering gray, and she's like in her 60s, and I'm close to 50, and she was like worrying about covering gray, and I was like, girl, I'm going to grow gray gracefully, because as a hairstylist, I've seen the heartache and pain that people go through trying to constantly cover gray, and it can be very stressful and very expensive. So I would recommend that people would try to either not cover it as much, or just not at all. I'm more of a not at all girl, but to each his own, because you have to do what you feel comfortable with. And that's the thing about hair care too. You have to do what's comfortable for you. You have to do what works for your hair. So just keep that in mind too, because I'll say a lot of things that even you may not even agree with, or I may say some things and it may not work for your hair. So say, for instance, something is like hair grease. I know society banned hair grease. They were like, hair grease is bad, da 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 da. And everybody jumped off the hair grease bandwagon. But now I see a lot of people going back to hair grease because they were like, it worked. So if something works for you, then by all means, keep it in your regimen. If your hair is thriving with that item that everybody else hates, by all means, keep it in your regimen. So I just want to tell you that. Okay, so another reason why your hair may not be growing, I say retaining length, is because you're mishandling your hair. Okay, there's a lot of ways we can mishandle our hair. And I'm pretty sure we have all done it from time to time. But one way that we mishandle our hair regularly is rough handling, overcombing, overbrushing, combing and brushing too fast, using the wrong implements on our hair, like fine tooth combs, those hard brushes are really not good for our hair. You got to take the time to be gentle to your hair, because if you're not, then it's going to snap and break. So I always say, if you don't have time on wash day to go through your entire routine and be gentle to your hair, don't rush, postpone it to another day and take your time. So I'm here to tell you that you need to stop mishandling your hair. Things like whenever you have a ponytail or bun in your hair and the elastic needs to be taken out, don't just sit there and rip the elastic out of your hair. Okay, take it out gently, unravel it, loop by loop, like by loop by loop, so just keep that in mind. Make sure you're using the right type of implements on your hair too, because if you're using the wrong type of combs and brushes on your hair, it can really cause damage to your hair. Uh-oh, somebody's guilty. Yeah, I think a lot of people are guilty of that elastic thing, because I know I can be sometimes, because I tend to rush too. I do. I find myself having to stop myself and say, Tamika, slow down. Your hair is fragile in a sense. So we've got to slow down and just take our time. On shampoo day, if you only have an hour and a half to do it, and it takes you 3 hours, just stop everything in its tracks. It's better to go on ahead and postpone your shampoo day for a couple more days than to try to do everything rush, because you're going to cause more damage if you rush as compared to just postponing it. All right. Okay, so another thing people do is they don't take care of their hair while they're in protective styles. Okay, I've been guilty of this one, especially when I get super busy. If I'm wearing a full weave or some weave braids or something like that, I'll kind of postpone doing the moisturizing underneath my weave a little bit longer, and before you know it, I haven't done it in 2 weeks. But that's just semi-neglect. What about if you are wearing your protective style the entire time, and you don't, the entire time, you don't shampoo it, you don't decondition it, you don't moisturize underneath? You're pretty much just neglecting it, because even though your hair is up in a protective style, that doesn't mean that you stop doing everything. You still have got to take care of your hair, because the thing is, the protective style is just temporary, and your hair is not. Your hair is growing out of your scalp. Protective style is not. So a lot of people, they just want to just wear the braids, wigs, weaves, crochet braids, lace front wigs, whatever it is, and just don't do anything to your hair underneath. But you've got to do that. I know a lot of stylists are not advocates of, doing any type of method underneath your protective styles. I like the liquid cream oil method underneath the protective styles 2 to 3 times a week. And a lot of people are saying, my stylist says it's greasy. But the thing is, you have to look at the reason why you're doing it. Okay, so is your protective style a means to an end, or are you wearing that so you can kind of fake the punk? Which one is it? Because me, when I was serving my customers, my clients, the weaves and protective styles were a means to an end. So eventually, after wearing it 2, 3, 4 years, once they got to their goal, then we wouldn't wear it anymore. And then your protective styles will become styles that you do with your own hair instead of wearing the enhancements. So you've got to be very diligent in taking care of your hair, even though it's underneath a weave or wig or any other, protective style that you would wear. So another thing too is, if you don't shampoo, decondition, moisturize your hair and all that stuff while you're in a protective style, guess what's going to happen? Your hair is going to be dry. So whenever it's time to take that protective style down, guess what's going to happen? Your hair is going to be damaged and it's going to break. So dry hair is prone to damage and breakage, and you've got to be sure that you moisturize your hair whenever you're in protective styles, because I know a lot of us sometimes, if we neglect our hair, a lot of times we'll see little pieces on our shoulder, or, little pieces in the sink and stuff like that. That's generally because your hair is dry. So moisture is the key to almost every, I wouldn't say every, hair concern, but it takes care of a lot of hair problems if we just keep our hair moisturized. All right. Okay, so one thing that people don't think about when it comes to hair and hair growth is medications, hormones, or hormonal imbalances. And that's something that I knew about, but I never really experienced it until recently. It's so funny, as you get older, you start experiencing like a whole bunch of things. But as we age, a lot of things slow down, and one of those things may be hair growth. So hormones change as we grow older, and they may affect the hair in an adverse way. Also, medications. I found that a lot of times my customers who were on especially diabetic medication and high blood pressure medication, they were the ones that suffered the most with slower hair growth. And also like hormone replacement therapy can be a culprit as well. And that's one thing that I suffered with. It affected my hair in a negative way. I recently went through the whole, like going through menopause, and I went to the doctor to try to, get some relief. And I wound up doing the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which was great in the beginning, but then I started having side effects. So I pretty much lost a lot of my hair. So for the past, I would say 10 months, I've been in the process of getting my hair back healthy and restoring my hair, but it's been tough because I was losing hair from my scalp. So I was having like bald spots and stuff like that. So I had to literally just put all my baskets, put all my eggs in one basket and say, hey, Tamika, you got to do this to your hair to get it back. Now it's gotten a lot better. It's not as thick as it was, maybe a couple of years ago, but it'll get back to where it was. But hormones can really like do you in, and not just those. They say they're natural hormones, but whatever. Anything that you have to put into your body, that ain't natural. But my hair was able to bounce back and start to thicken up and do a lot better. And I've been mainly focusing on the health of my hair more so than length. But now that my hair is starting to thicken up and stuff, maybe starting next year, I'll start focusing on length. But for now, I just wanted to make sure the bald spots filled in. I'm so excited because I have, little new growths coming in. You can see them springing up in the scalp. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing, because my hair is actually growing back, because I didn't think that it could happen, because I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, my hair was coming out in clumps. So that's another type of hair loss. But yeah, it was very shocking, devastating, because my hair was so fragile and thin. And so I was like, you know what? No more HRT for me. I stopped the treatments and none of that. If I have hot flashes, I'm just going to have to deal with it another way. No more artificial stuff in my body. Okay. Let me answer this quick question. What about the Chi Keratin Silk Infusion? I just ordered it because I saw on your video you had a link to use it before applying heat, but it could have been the wrong product, because I think the one you actually used had a red cap versus the one from the link you had go cap. Oh, it doesn't matter. But it's both pretty much the same product, the Chi. One of them is not the Silk Infusion. The other one's just the regular one, but they both work equally as well. Preach. If you have to put it into your body, it's not natural. So I'm glad somebody agreed with me. Okay. Yeah.
So what, because you said that too much product or something like that. I think you said keratin could hurt it or whatnot.
Yeah, it's more of the over processing. If you do it too often. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's keep it moving, because I'm nearing to the end, and then we can ask questions after that. Yeah, because I kind of want to make these classes short and sweet too, so we can have time for questions, and so you guys can get back to your lives, because I know nobody will sit on a class for 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about too much heat. All right. So I know, well, while it's okay to use heat from time to time, the use of too much heat can cause damage and breakage. Like if you're touching up your hair 2, 3, 4 times a week so you can look polished, that's a no-go. Okay, it's working against the overall health and length of your hair. Heat dries out your hair, especially the oldest part of your hair, which is the ends, and it causes dryness and breakage and no length retention. So you may even notice that your hair is getting shorter and shorter as time goes on. So I know heat is okay to an extent. Like we go underneath the dryer to do our deep conditioning treatments. If you get your hair roller set, or if you get your hair silk pressed, and I know some stylists will put you underneath the dryer with braids to dry your hair, or if you're getting roller set, of course you have to dry your hair underneath the dryer. That's indirect heat. It's not so detrimental as compared to when you're doing like curling irons and flat irons and things like that. So just keep in mind, too much heat can be detrimental to your length retention, and heat, it dries the hair out. The more heat you put on it, the more dry your hair gets. And so it's going to start getting dry on the ends, especially. And then that's when you start running into the damage and breakage. So just be mindful of that. So if you find yourself touching up your hair too much, the edges, I know people, they love to have them slick edges, especially in this day and age, because baby hairs is like the thing. The edges, the ends, and stuff like that. If you start noticing that your hair is going a little bit south, you probably need to think about how much heat you're putting in your hair, because a lot of people don't understand, that touching up. Oh, I'm just touching it up. Touching up 2, 3, 4 times a week is too much. The only time I really condone heat, like heat is on shampoo and deep condition day. Okay, because that is when your hair is in the optimal condition, because you have just deep conditioned your hair, and so your hair is full of all the nutrients and things that it needs to be able to combat the damage from the heat. And you always have to put on a heat protectant as well. A lot of people, like if they're bumping their ends every day, they're not putting on a heat protectant or some type of something to combat that. Okay. Quick question. I wear my hair in protective styles and get it done every 2 weeks. My stylist puts conditioner on my hair, but she doesn't place me under a dryer. Is this okay, or should I be placed under a dryer? Yes, dryer, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more at the end. I really want to save the questions to the end, but I want you guys to know I am seeing your questions, and I appreciate you guys being here. Okay. Okay. Well, I saved the most controversial to last because everybody feels differently about this. And I'm pretty sure you guys have an idea of what I'm going to say. But trimming. Okay. If you don't trim your hair enough, then it can cause you to not retain length. And let me explain myself. Because I'm not an advocate for over trimming, because I was never a scissor happy stylist. I always had people who wouldn't go to stylists for anything, but they would come to me for hair trims, because I knew that if they said 1/2 inch, that's all I was going to do. So I wasn't one of those type of people that will cut you from waist length to shoulder length because you have so much damage. Because first of all, our hair is very emotional. We're attached to it. So I would never want somebody to be in shock or be depressed or feel some kind of way about getting their hair trimmed, But once you get past 1/2 inch, it's a cut anyway. So I would never bully anybody into, cutting their hair. We would sit down, we have a conversation about why the hair needs to be cut. And then, I would trim what we agreed upon. I would show it to them and they would be okay. And then we would schedule another appointment later on down the line so they can get a little bit more trim later on down the line. So because we're so emotionally attached to our hair, and we kind of have, in a sense, the spirit of scarcity when it comes to our hair, because we think that our hair doesn't grow, we tend to hold on to length for the sake of length, and that's not good. Okay, so not trimming enough is one of the main culprits of no length retention. Because your hair is growing, it's just not retaining. A lot of people have the mindset that if I don't trim my hair, I'm going to retain length, or if I trim my hair, I'm cutting off progress. So neither one of these prove true, as trims are done in a timely, if trims are done in a timely manner and properly. So not trimming at all results in any damage that you have. It's going to go up, it's going to split up, it's going to go up the shaft and create even further damage. So it's going to travel up the shaft to create further damage and breakage, and that's what the trims try to prevent. So more than likely, you're going to lose more hair if you go longer without trimming as compared to getting on a trim schedule. And I'm going to talk more about trim schedules in other classes, but generally, a good trim schedule, depending on how well you take care of your hair, is usually about 3 to 4 months. Okay, I've seen people go longer, but about 3 to 4 months. So yeah. What else do I want to say about trimming? Yeah, generally, if you're trimming regularly and doing it properly and taking care of your hair properly, you can really retain about 5 inches or more, depending on how fast your hair grows, a year, which is a lot, because most people don't retain that much. Most people don't, because I've had people sat in my stylist chair who, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know, but I was always having to cut their hair. So it is what it is. And so, okay, So those are all the reasons why I'm giving you that your hair may not be retaining length or growing, as we say. We're going to discuss some more reasons in the class. The next class, I'm going to talk about things you need to do to retain your length, because it's kind of like the opposite of what we talked about today. And the next class is going to be on Tuesday, July 26th at 7, same time. So this is going to be like our time. And if you guys ever have any topics that you want me to talk about, you can always email me or put it in the chat or something like that. Because of course I always need ideas, because you guys know what you need more than what I know. I just know what I see. Okay, so I'm going to go on ahead and open up for a few questions, but I'm going ahead and put the link in again. If anybody's on here who has not signed up for the list, I went ahead and put the link there so you can go ahead and sign up for the list. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and start typing in your questions, or if you are brave enough to come on camera, that will work too. So you can just raise your hand. Do they have that on here? Do they have?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I do not know how to pronounce your name.
Moisturizing.
Moisturizing. Hello, how are you? Your skin is beautiful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How are you?
So what's your question?
I saw in one of your videos you recommended the Hair Burst Healthy Hair Vitamins, and I started taking them after I was treated from cancer. I've been on them for 2 years. Now, is there a time limit you should take hair supplements?
Well, me personally, and this may be different for everybody, but I'll go in and I'll do maybe 6 months to a year, and I'll take maybe a month or two break.
Okay.
And then I'll start back up again. Yeah, because after a while, your body gets used to having that in there. And so you kind of want to like shock it out and then shock it back in type of deal. But yeah, I take breaks often. Your skin is so pretty and you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's okay to take breaks. Yeah. So you said you've been taking them 2 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So how's your hair doing with the vitamins? Because I still take them too.
So I hadn't got a trim for a year after I started. It was to my shoulder, but I had a lot of breakage, like split ends. So in March, I just got a trim, and it's right above my shoulders at this point. So I get it treated with Olaplex twice a month, and then my granddaughter braids it up, and I put on my turban.
Okay. So you were you completely bald?
No, ma'am, just some bald patches. Like I had like 10 bald patches throughout my scalp, and some of them were pretty big size.
Okay. So I hate to get so personal, but are you in remission now? Are you good?
I'm not gonna say I'm in remission. I'm gonna say I'm healed, because I believe in the Lord.
Amen. Oh, hallelujah. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
So I am healed. But
I'll definitely put you in my prayers.
Thank you. So I was gonna say I would be able to send you some pictures of what it used to look like and what it looks like now to your email.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I would love to see that. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all, I'm all new to the Zoom thing. This is actually my first time hosting a Zoom. I've been on 1,000 Zooms, but this is my first time hosting one. Okay, so Tisha?
Yes. I'd like to know, I press my hair, and I'd like to know if I should use a pressing oil even though I use a heat protector.
You don't need both.
Okay.
It's either one or the other. You said you're pressing with a pressing comb?
Yes.
Okay, I would say use the the good old grease. And I would say use the grease, because I actually have pressed my hair in recent times and use that. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Little blue magic, little rural crown. Yeah. Thank you. I can't hear you. Did you have something else?
Yes, I've forgotten. You recommended a good moisturizer. Could you tell me what you recommend for a moisturizer?
Okay, so I like the Tejan. I don't know exact names, but it's like the Tejan moisturizer and also the Camille Rose Pearl 8 Moisture Butter. Those are like staples of mine that I keep going back to regardless of whether or not I try new products.
Okay.
They tend to work very, very well. And also Chemet Biologics, they're some of the first ones that started doing that type of stuff. And that's really good too. But any type of like creamy moisturizer that's not too thick because you don't want to weigh your hair down too much works out great. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming. Okay. Ashley.
Okay, hi. So
Hi.
I just newly found your channel not that long ago. I took down a protective style and some of my hair along the, I think you said they're called hair bursts. Is that what you were saying about the?
Yeah, the hair vitamins. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had some breakage in that area and whatnot. So some of my questions was the same thing. I want to try to rejuvenate that area. I kind of looked up like some different oils, stuff like that. People feel like you can use to do that. But mostly when I was looking at your videos, I saw that you said you like the Speed Freak dryer, but then it was also Rev Air. So so two of those, I was like, okay, because the Speed Freak seemed like some people were saying that it got pretty hot, but then the Rev Air, it seems like it's supposed to be like a reverse mechanism where it doesn't get hot. So
okay. Do you want me to explain the difference?
Yeah, I want to see which one do you like really, or should I just get both or like, you know?
Okay, so listen, getting both would not be bad. Okay, because I have both and I use both. It just really depends on what I'm going for. With the Speed Freak, you're going to get a more softer blow dry, but the heat is going to be a little bit hotter than the Rev Air. The Rev Air, you're going to get a more coarse blow dry, but it's going to be straighter. With the Speed Freak, you're going to have a blow dry. It's going to be nice, but with the Rev Air, get to like straight, almost as if you like lightly flat ironed it. Overall, even though they're both heating elements, you still have to be careful with either one because if you overuse either one, you're still going to, run into issues. But the Rev Air is more gentle, and you have less chance of getting damage from the Rev Air than you do the Speed Freak. So just be mindful of that. The Rev Air does dry faster, and you can use it for more than just like blow drying your hair. Like if you have twists, you can use it to blow dry that. If you have locks, you can blow dry that or stuff like that. So the Rev Air is really, really, really good.
Okay, so if you feel like
do
you feel like that one is better for like trying to be able to maintain length or not have damage from the heat or whatnot?
I mean, before Rev Air came out, people were maintaining their hair. So I'm not gonna say that using the Speed Freak is gonna make it worse for you. It's more about what you feel comfortable doing, because I interchange between both. I've grown long, healthy hair with the Speed Freak. I've grown long, healthy hair with the Rev Air. So it's more about personal preference, I would say. The Rev Air, one thing I can say that it can be a little bit awkward to manage because of the wand, but you get used to that part. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a really good dryer.
Okay, well, because I'm gonna be following you because this is gonna be kind of like my beautician. She moved, so now I'm kind of like being on my own, trying to learn.
Oh, so this is right on time then.
Yes, it was. When I saw you were offering classes, I jumped in there.
Oh yeah, so. Yeah, because it really is my mission to help people, be able to take their own hair care into their hands. Because we do have hairstyles, but what if your hairstyle retires like I did? I left 300 customers like high and dry. And so if that happens, what are you going to do? We have to learn how to care for our hair, not be relying upon. There's nothing wrong with going to a hairstyle, of course, because I was one, and that's how I made my money. But I feel like, what do you do when she's not available or he's not available?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got to know how to do something. You can't be going around looking like lightning struck you,
Mm-hmm. And so then last question, the joy. Okay, so I saw that you did, because one thing she recommended for me was Joico. She wanted to do the blue one. Oh, you're rolling your eyes. What does that mean?
I'm so mad at Joico.
What happened?
They switched the formula.
Again? Okay, see, because I
No,
was
they didn't switch it again. It's just
okay.
they switched it to whatever that is that they have now, and I don't like it. I've tried to like it. I don't like it.
Okay. So Rose, you said? I heard you say something
Rose. If you can get hold to the Matrix products, those are really good.
Matrix. Okay.
Matrix. The So Long products are really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Marquita, hello.
Hello. How are you?
I should have known you were gonna be here, girl. How you feeling?
Good. I'm doing good. I just wanted to say hello. Oh, quick question. Do you recommend anything different for taking care of locks?
You know what? With Devin and I still being on lock journey, because I think he's like 2.5 years in, it's definitely been very interesting. It really depends on the person's hair, because locks don't need as much like conditioning and stuff as regular hair does. That's one thing I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Huh?
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, it doesn't need as much. So you can use the same products. One thing I will recommend though, so whatever doesn't get stuck into the strands, is just to kind of dilute it some, especially the conditioner. If you have thicker conditioners, dilute it some, because that can get in there, and if it doesn't get rinsed completely out, then it'll attract dust and dirt and lint, and when you get lint in the locks, what happens?
Yeah,
that's a task and a half.
Yeah, because I used the method that you did with the protective style with the color bottles.
Oh yeah,
shampoo and condition with that. So that's been working out pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. But yeah, just how long is locks now?
Well, I actually locked my hair.
Oh, you locked your hair. Hold up, turn around, let me see.
Yeah,
I thought you had braids
right now. Yeah.
How long you been locked?
This is going on 5 months.
Okay, awesome.
Going on 5 months. Yep.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats. Just be mindful of lint.
Yeah, I make sure I tie it up every night. So working out pretty good.
Will wreak havoc.
Yeah.
All right. Good to see you, girl.
You too.
Okay, let's see. I have one more question to answer here. Then I'm gonna go to the chat. So Mimi.
Yes, thank you. So how often do you, I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Good. How often do you recommend moisturizing natural hair? I hear some people say daily, every other day. Like, what's your recommendation?
Oh, it really just depends on what your hair's needs are. You really have to kind of get to know your hair and figure that out. But my recommendation would be, I would say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm a three times a week girl when it comes to natural hair. But if your hair is super dry, you might need to get some more on there. But generally, 3 times a week should be enough to maintain the moisture in between shampoos when you're natural.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the chat and I'm going to see what questions are over here. Okay. So I wanted to address the question. I wear my hair in protective styles and get it done every 2 weeks. My stylist puts conditioner on my hair, but she doesn't place me under a dryer. Is this okay? Or should I be placed in a dryer? And so I wanted to get back to that really quickly and say that you need to go under the dryer, simply because, especially being in protective style, the conditioner needs more of a chance to be able to penetrate into your strand, to be able to nourish your hair and get it moisturized the way it should be when you're doing deep conditioning treatments. Skipping a deep conditioner, that's okay from time to time, but your regular routine needs to have deep conditioning in it. It really does. I really don't condone skipping deep conditioner at all, but I have found myself, on an occasional two, skipping it. But if she's skipping it every time, I think you probably just need to just request that she puts you under the dryer. She may not want to, she may not know that she should, or for whatever reason it is, it might be a time thing, but request that she puts you in the dryer. She might ask you to pay a little bit extra for it, but to me, an extra $10 or $20 is worth it because it's just something that needs to be done. It's something that should not be neglected. Or either a hydration, you sit under the steamer. We should always be doing those type of things to our hair to keep it in its optimal condition and to help combat damage and breakage. Okay. All right. So you mentioned moisture. I can shampoo and decondition, but it just doesn't seem like my hair is moisturized. Ooh, that sounds like some low porosity hair right there. Try this. Try warming up your products before you put them on your hair. And also another thing too, before you shampoo, if you're not using a clarifying shampoo, use a clarifying shampoo before you start the shampoo process. Clarify your hair with a clarifying shampoo first, and then you can go in with your regular shampoo and then put your conditioner on and sit under dryer. You probably should try to do hydration treatments, steam treatments, because that'll help open up the cuticles a little bit more to be able to receive the nutrients from the conditioner. Because if you're low porosity, a lot of times low porosity hair tends to be a little bit harder to penetrate. Okay. All right. Okay. I saw on one of your videos you recommended Hair Burst Healthy Hair Vitamins. How long should I take them? Okay, so we already talked about that. All right. My hair is relaxed. All right. And people are actually getting back to relaxers. And there's nothing wrong with relaxing your hair. Not let the natural Nazis tell you that you shouldn't be relaxing your hair. You have to do what's best for your hair, what's best for your lifestyle. Okay. Okay. Hello. Can you grow edges back when they're gone? All right. So yes and no. It depends on the reason why your edges are gone. So if they're just gone because they're broken, by all means, you can grow them back. But if it's because of hair trauma, like too tight braids and weaves, and it's been too long and your hairline is way back here, the likelihood of your hair growing back is slim to none. Yeah, but if it's just damage or breakage, or even if you've worn one or two too tight protective styles, braids, weaves, if you catch it before it gets too bad, you can still revitalize the follicles. Okay. A lot of massaging, hair oils, the ORS fertilizing temple balm is really good for that type of stuff. Hair growth oils, things with sulfur in it, all those type of things, daily, around your edges, and quit with the brushing and combing of your edges and stuff like that, and just try to let them be as much as possible. And then you should start seeing your edges come back to life. Okay. And the name of the hair vitamins are Hair Bursts. HAIRBURST, Hair Bursts. And they are great vitamins. I have been recommending those vitamins since they came out, and I still take them, and I buy them on a buy one, get one free sale. If you guys don't know about it, they have buy one, get one free sales like every 3 or 4 months. See, you know about that, don't you? You know. Yeah. So get them on the buy one, get one free sale. Okay. Marquita, hey. Okay. Sorry about that. My hair is relaxed. When I use the hair lotions, i.e. pink lotion, olive oil, or and various oils, my ends become very dry and bushy. Any suggestions? You don't have to use, those are the ones. Yeah. You don't have to use like those pink oil moisturizers on your hair. And they tend to contain water anyway, and mineral oil, which is not good for your hair. You might want to try to switch over to regular hair oils that absorb into your strands, that really nourish your strands. One of my favorites, I know a lot of people don't like this one, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, apricot kernel oil, soybean oil, jojoba oil. Oils like that are really good for putting on your hair in between shampoos, especially if you're a straight natural or if you're relaxed. So just try to switch over to that instead of the water-based oil moisturizers and things like that. Now, some people, they swear by those. And if your hair thrives on oil moisturizers, by all means use them. But I'm not really an advocate of the oil moisturizers because they tend to be very heavy. Okay. What is the hype about wild growth oil? I don't know. The hype, I think, is because it was one of the first ones out there. Like before all these people started with these sulfur oils and all this stuff, wild growth oil was like back in the 90s before all this stuff got started. But it supposedly is supposed to be like a hair growth oil and really get your hair growing really, really super fast, just like all the other growth oils promise. Okay. Okay, looking for a moisture product to deep condition. You once did a haul on YouTube and said you were going to try the Matrix Moisture Me Rich Conditioner. Have you tried it already? And so, I completely forgot about that. Moisture Me Rich Conditioner. I have not tried that. I have tried Matrix products, and I still use them on a regular basis. But from the So Long line, I use the Matrix products. But the Matrix Moisture Me Rich, you know, what color is the bottle on that? Because I may have tried it and just don't remember. Tell me what the color of the bottle was. But I do like Matrix products. Okay. How to grow out the shorter crown area. Patience. Oh my gosh, patience. I know when my hair was like super short, like an inch long, as it started growing in, I just started kind of like wearing slick styles into it started filling in. But once it got long enough, once it got like 3 inches, I started wearing weaves and braids and stuff. So yeah, get it into a protective style once it gets long enough. But I was doing like that slick thing that you always see people wear sometimes, especially back in the day. Okay, should we be deep conditioning with a mask before shampooing, right? Is tea tree a clarifying shampoo? Tea tree is not a clarifying shampoo. It's more like a treatment shampoo. And the deep conditioning comes after the shampoo. So you shampoo and deep condition your hair. Now, if you're doing a pre-poo, that's fine, but a pre-poo generally is not a mask. A mask is going to be heavier. So if you're doing some type of mask or deep penetrating treatment, that's after the shampoo. Okay. Is there a growth method that you would recommend for really busy people? I'd like to regrow my hair, but I'm over the wigs, weaves, sew-ins. Oh, man. The only other thing that I would recommend is quite possibly maybe bunning it up regularly, or maybe even trying the baggy method and putting like a fake bun over top of the baggy or something like that. Because wigs, weave, sew-in, that's the way to go. I mean, it's been here since the beginning of time and it's not going anywhere. And I know you can be over it because I am. I've been over that for quite some time. I understand, but that's the way to go, because it's almost like a set and forget, even though it's not. You still gonna take care of hair, but try buns. That works too, or either the baggy method where you ponytail your hair and then you get the moisturizer and all the stuff on it. You put the baggy on it and put the pony or phony bun on top of it and wear that. Yeah. Oh, how sweet. Also, we miss you. I miss you guys too. So much has been going on behind the scenes. I cannot wait to tell you guys, but it is what it is. Okay. I miss you guys too. I can't stay away. All right. Oh, so it's blue. It's blue. There's nothing wrong with glycerin. It's just if there's too much glycerin is where the problem is, but there's nothing wrong with glycerin. Glycerin actually is a humectant, so it draws moisture into the strands. So glycerin is good. In a conditioner, it really isn't. It's really not a problem. It's when you're using glycerin, like the pure glycerin, and using it as a moisturizer, or if you have moisturizing products that have glycerin in it, that tends to make your hair like gummy and cakey and stuff like that. So glycerin and like a conditioner, it's getting rinsed off anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. Yeah. So go ahead and try it. Don't wait on me because I got like 1,000 things going on. Don't wait on me. Go ahead and try it. See if you can get your little sample of it and try it one day on your shampoo day and see how it works. And let us all know, because I would love to know. But I don't think I've tried that. No, I've tried the one in the black bottle, but that's the Bond. Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. Okay. All right. So it looks like I've answered all the questions. Does anybody have any more questions before we get out of here? That's awesome. That means I've covered everything. Awesome. Okay. Well,
I'll say just so I know. Okay, so we should use a pre-poo. You're saying not necessarily a mask is not necessarily a pre-poo.
No, a mask is too heavy to be a pre-poo in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, a pre-poo would pretty much be like a hot oil treatment or maybe a lighter conditioner or something that you put on to kind of pre-poos. I don't think pre-poos are necessary, but I mean, if you want to pamper your hair, you can do it. But
Okay, so we could just use so I just kind of feel a little overwhelmed, but okay, so basically just We shampoo, deep condition, and we should be good. And not necessarily
Yeah.
that we need to do mask or anything like that.
No, it's not necessary. It's totally not necessary. But we'll get into more about regimens and stuff in another class. But I definitely want to set you guys up with, you know, some regimens that you can try out, and so that way you can gain confidence in your haircare routine, because there's so much information out there, and a lot of information is coming from people who are not professionals, people who have not been healthy hair specialists and things like that, and they're just telling you what they're doing, you know, what's best for their hair, what's best for their family's hair, but it might not be something that is needed, you know, because if you're only doing your own hair, you just don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be looking forward to the next classes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot to learn. We've got a lot to learn. Okay. Oh, comments. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. And you guys can always email me with class suggestions. If there's something you're struggling with or something you know people are struggling with, you know, email me with suggestions. Also, invite your friends and family. This is a free class, y'all. This is free. So invite your friends and family so they can get this hair care knowledge too. Okay. All righty. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Enjoy seeing a queen queening. Ah, thank you. Okay. No, I didn't. I closed the Facebook group because it got too overwhelming keeping up with it. But more than likely, I'm going to open up something really soon so we can interact in between classes and stuff. But I'll just have to think about, I'll pray about like what God wants me to do with that, because I don't want to get myself overwhelmed too, especially with all the stuff I have going on. But yeah. Okay. All right. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I guess I will bid you good night. And thank you for having me. And thank you for spending time with me tonight. I hope you guys learned a lot.
Good night.
I will see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.